A Rohingya girl kept as a sex slave since 2016 by a Burmese police fortunately managed to escape and reach the makeshift camps of Bangladesh on 5th December 2018. The girl named Swara, daughter of Muhammad Hussain from Queer Hali village of Maung Do Township, was abducted by the Burmese police named Thay Maung in late 2016. The girl was kept as a sex slave and was kept locked in a room for the entire day after raping her the entire night. When frequently she asked about her parents from the police who raped her, he replied that your parents were killed by us, and he further threatened her to kill her as well if she denied doing anything against their wish. After a few months, when she repeatedly cried and asked about her parents to him, she was sold to another police of Mayawadi post of southern Maungdong Township named Mai Pin. Even the hand of Mai Pin, she was raped every night by 10 to 20 men and was kept locked the whole day. While explaining her heartbreaking story, she even mentioned the personal number of Mai Pin. His personal number was 243714 and he is from Mayawadi, tells Sunera in her exclusive interview Voice of Rohingya VOR. They used to drink and then torture me with knives, wine bottles, etc. if I denied doing anything they wanted me to do, she adds further. In the interview, she also mentioned her story of escape during an occasion from the police post. She reached the shores of Bangladesh on 5th December 2018. Sanuera is not the only victim of sex slave kept in police post and military base in Arakan, Rakhine State. Most of the similar cases goes unreported as the victims are usually killed after fulfilling their lust. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey has been criticized for encouraging his 4.12 million followers to visit Myanmar without mentioning the widespread allegations of ethnic cleansing of the country's majority Muslim Rohingyas ethnic group. In a lengthy thread on Twitter, Dorsey42 described in detail his experience on a silent meditation retreat in Pien U Luin, a town in northern Myanmar, before encouraging his followers to visit the South Asian country. Myanmar is an absolutely beautiful country. The people are full of joy and the food is amazing, he said in the post on Saturday evening. There was no mention of the plight of the Rohingyas in the more than 700-word thread. More than 800,000 Rohingyas fled Myanmar's Arakan state in 2017, following a clear operation by the Burmese armed forces. Rohingya refugees in neighboring Bangladesh say Burmese soldiers and Buddhist civilians killed families, burnt many villages, and carried out gang rape. UN-mandated investigators have accused Burma's army of genocidal intent. Dorsey's comments provoked a backlash, with Twitter users accusing the Silicon Valley boss of being tone deaf to the plight of the Rohingyas, spawning the hashtag #JackIgnoresGenocide. I'm no expert on meditation, but is it supposed to make you so self-obsessed that you forget to mention you're in a country where the military has committed mass killings and mass rape, forcing hundreds of thousands to flee in one of today's biggest humanitarian disasters? Andrew Strolin, the European Media Director of Human Rights Watch, responded on Twitter. International lawyer Suchitra Vijayan also weighed in, comparing the silence Dorsey sought from his meditation to his tight-lipped approach to the plight of the Rohingyas. Matthew Smith, CEO of Southeast Asia-based human rights NGO Fortify Rights, told Al Jazeera that Dorsey had at best miscalculated the reaction his post would provoke. It's important that powerful people know and understand the landscape of abuse in Myanmar and speak openly and publicly about it. Genocide is everyone's problem, and while we don't expect everyone to speak about it publicly at every turn, atrocity crimes are the elephant in the room with regard to social media here, Smith said. The European Commission has released an additional €5 million to provide life-saving food assistance to the Rohingya community stranded in Bangladesh. This comes on top of the €40 million in humanitarian aid announced in May in response to the crisis. Today's additional funding is another clear sign that the EU remains committed to stand by the side of the Rohingyas for as long as it takes. Food assistance is an absolute necessity, and we will continue to support both Rohingya refugees and host communities in Bangladesh throughout this crisis, said Commissioner for Humanitarian Aid and Crisis Management Christos Stylianides. Hundreds of thousands of Rohingya refugees in Cox's Bazar district of Bangladesh rely entirely on humanitarian aid for their survival. The additional EU funding will provide urgently needed food assistance to refugees while ensuring access to food throughout the camps, makeshift settlements, and host communities. Following major outbreaks of violence in Burma in August 2000, 2017, about 800,000 Rohingya refugees have crossed the border into neighboring Bangladesh. This massive displacement has entered its second year in what has become a protracted crisis with severe humanitarian consequences. Vulnerabilities continue to grow as exposure to natural hazards and the congestion of the refugee camps pose enormous strains on displaced communities. Since 2017, the European Commission has allocated almost 115 million euros to the Rohingya refugees and host communities in Bangladesh, including 30 million euros announced during the pledging conference on the Rohingya refugee crisis, which the EU co-hosted in October 2017. The European Commission has funded relief programs in Cox's Bazar district of Bangladesh since 1994. The EU humanitarian relief focuses on food assistance, nutritional support, clean water and sanitation facilities, access to healthcare services, as well as increased protection for the most vulnerable groups.